Well, it is very obvious to me that I also had a sinus infection. Shortly after taking my antibiotics, my right sinus goes from impassable to waterfall. Also, I'm not gonna stop saying what I'm saying about Amberlyn Reed. Just because y'all don't understand that medication non-compliance is a medical issue of its own doesn't mean I'm gonna suddenly start saying falsehoods. I don't care for Amberlyn Reed, but medication compliance issues exist. They're real. And you can talk to your doctor if you have medication compliance issues, and there are alternatives. I have difficulty swallowing. I have dysphagia. It's a psychological thing where I think I'm gonna choke to death on my pills. So when I'm trying to take my pills, my throat decides to and almost choke me to death. Great, thanks, brain. You're so logical. But there's then options. And sometimes people do irresponsible things with their health. I'm chronically ill. Do you know how many bad decisions I make about my own health? Do you know how many chronically ill or disabled people put off essential care? I'm not saying it's a good thing to do, but it is a real thing that happens. Medication non-compliance is a medical issue on its own. And the reason I say I support Amberlyn Reed in this is simply because I'm going to show support towards someone who has an issue where they cannot help but to be damaging to themselves. A lot of us with health issues do things that aren't good for our health. Okay? I'm not saying she should be doing what she's doing, just that I understand. I get it. You get fed up with the medication merry-go-round, the carousel of crazy. All right? It gets overwhelming, and all of a sudden you're like, screwed, I'm not taking this medication anymore. You think I haven't done that? I have definitely done that. I have been irresponsible with my medications. I'm not going to judge her for also having medication compliance issues. She has a mental health issue where she is incapable of properly taking care of herself. Instead of acting like she's choosing this, how about we look at it from the perspective of this is a mental illness wherein the person is not good at taking care of themselves. That's what it is. Amberlyn Reed has issues. Just like, I don't know, 80+% of every YouTuber on here that, I really feel like a small portion of the YouTube community has any sort of mental stability. So, what kind of massive fucking hypocrite would I be if I sat here judge someone for fucking up in the same ways that I've fucked up over and over again? We need to show support to people if we want them to do good for themselves. If you just keep saying, oh, you're fucking up, don't you think the person knows that? Why do you think she comes up with all of these weird excuses? It's what mentally ill minds do. She has an eating disorder of some kind, whether it's compulsive overeating or binge eating disorder, regardless, eating disorders are disorders where people lie a lot. It becomes habit. You lie, you make excuses, you push blame, and it takes a lot of work to get over that. I still, every day, am working on not using gaslighting language towards others. I present myself as not totally here, not all together, for a reason. I want y'all to understand how much mentally ill people know we are screwing up in certain ways. And we're not just happy about it. It's a struggle. There's a lot of wanting to take care of yourself and then not taking care of yourself and then beating yourself up about it and feeling like you're basically a massive fucking failure, loser, piece of shit who'll never do anything proper or helpful or good in your life. So what's the point? I may as well give up and be a piece of shit anyway. That is a legitimate mental process people have with mental illness. No, it's not logical. We get it. We can't help it. Our brains don't work right. We are cognizant of our fuck ups. We want to stop. And then we keep doing the shit and we hate ourselves for it. So, that's what it is. That's what it is. A lot of things are faulty and flawed mental processes. We need to show support to people if we want them to want to change. Okay? When people were sitting here yelling at me that I'm just saying stupid shit, you know what I did? I fought back. I punched back. I said more. I yelled louder. And then you know what happened when people said, actually, you do have good points, but the way you present yourself isn't helpful. I looked at the way I present myself. Constructive criticism. That's the kind of stuff that can help. If bashing someone generally doesn't. When you see someone with an illness doing something unhealthy for them, just take a moment and think, is it possible that the reason they're fucking up with their health is because that's part of the issue? That people want to get better and do better. And then the brain just says, no, let's be a fuck up. Mental illness is difficult. Eating disorders are mental illnesses. When you look at Amberlynn Reed and Foodie Beauty and Eugenia Cooney, it's all fucked up mental processes. What do you want from these people? They're going to keep being unhealthy. I'm going to keep being unhealthy, although, a little tooting my own horn. I feel like at least I'm honest, and I'll tell y'all about how I fuck up and how my mental processes are fucked up, whereas it seems like they want to act like they're all totally fine. No, people with mental illnesses have fucked up ways of thinking, and we don't like it ourselves. We want our brains to work normally, and they just don't. Chemicals, misfiring, and then we do toxic and or dangerous things. Don't just judge someone because they're doing something unhealthy. A lot of people do unhealthy things every day. And honestly, if someone has negative health consequences for not taking care of themselves, that's on them. There's things I neglected in my life, and guess what? That's on me. My teeth are gonna fall out. They're like all fake. Gonna be all fake. They're already mostly fillings and stuff. Because I was anorexic, I was bulimic, I rotted them out. They're yellow. They look disgusting. I have nasty looking, disgusting fucking teeth. And I have to deal with that. That's a consequence of not taking care of my teeth while being anorexic and bulimic. I accept that. So if Amberlynn Reed is gonna give herself osteoporosis from not taking her estrogen, if Foodie Booty's gonna get herself arrested for, doing coke with strangers she's met online, if Eugenia Cooney's gonna literally wither away and die, unfortunately, sorry to tell y'all, but that's their choice. If someone wants to literally slowly kill themselves, we can't do anything about it. Obviously, I think it's not good to have that stuff online for anyone and everyone to see, but you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink, okay? Old cliche, but it's true. If someone's gonna self-destruct, they're gonna self-destruct. All you can do is try to show support. I'm not exactly the most supportive person in a lot of these cases, sorry, but I will be supportive of the fact that people with mental illnesses are valid, and it's not always possible to be the healthiest person you can be. Not everything that's self-destructive that a mentally ill person does is something they want to be doing. Okay? Medication noncompliance is a real issue. It's something I've personally struggled with, and I'm going to continue to stand up for people who have medication compliance issues. It's a legitimate medical issue. Talk to a doctor. Ask them, what would you suggest for someone who has medication compliance issues? I guarantee they're going to start telling you about other options, such as shots for people with dysphagia who can't swallow, or liquid forms, or patches. Medication compliance issues are real to the point that there are systems in place to try to help people with these issues. So saying that Amber Lynn is being stupid with the medication compliance, okay, sure, whatever. But you know what? A lot of things that people do are stupid, even when you're not mentally ill. Just get it through your thick skulls. Because it took a long enough time for me to learn this stuff and stop hating myself for my medication non-compliance, that a lot of things are just so much more difficult than is possible to really verbally express. Even in this video is already 12 minutes long. And you know what? There's so many reasons people have medication compliance issues. There's so many reasons people come up with excuses and bullshit. What are we supposed to do except hope that the person does better and maybe spread some education around? Maybe if people start telling her, hey, there are other options. If you're having difficulty for one reason or another with complying with your current medication regimen, talk to your doctor. You never know. It could help. Maybe she doesn't know that medication non-compliance issues are real. There's a freaking SNOMED code for them. It's considered like a legitimate medical problem that's in SNOMED. It's in medical coding, okay? It's a real issue. Just that's it. I can't. Just this issue has been pissing me off because I just don't know how to really get people to understand this stuff when a lot of times I talk about this stuff, people go, no, that's bullshit. What am I supposed to do if you don't believe me? What am I supposed to do if you're not going to believe doctors? What am I going to do when I literally can't even show you around like SNOMED or anything because I only know about this because of my partner who does like medical coding billing stuff for shits and giggles, I guess. I don't know. I don't have access to the program. But medication noncompliance is an actual literal thing. It's not just an excuse to not take your meds. There's psychological processes behind it. There's sometimes physical reasons behind it. And not to mention there's medication shortages, there's supply issues. My partner, it's still, like a month later, she's been approved for the estrogen. She still hasn't gotten it. It's not available. So, there's a lot of reasons people might not be medication compliant. On a 15-minute long fucking video, all taken in portrait mode, you're totally allowed to hate me if you want. I would just really prefer, if you're going to leave feedback where you're critical of me, be specific about your criticisms, because I am neurodivergent, and I can have difficulty with context. I do have difficulty wording things the way I would like at times. So if you are very specific in where your issues are, I can address those. I might even agree with you that I said something stupid or in a stupid way because I do that sometimes and I can admit that. I want to help get my messages across in a way that's understandable. So that's kind of why I like cringe bait with the short video where I just blab the opinion quickly and then I go into further details in the comments. But it seems to me like nobody gives a fuck about my comment replies that I put. Maybe because I don't at anyone because my phone doesn't let me. I don't understand why. I click the reply to and it doesn't at them and just whatever. But I take this time out to write long replies about medication compliance and stuff like that. Nobody responds, nobody gives a fuck. So here's a really goddamn long video where I'm telling you exactly what my feelings are. And it's long and it's convoluted and it's twisted and hard to follow. So, you know, here's the actual message. The clickbait is, I defend Evelyn Reed. The true message, however, medication noncompliance is an actual medical issue that medical professionals have found some ways to help with, and therefore it is a valid issue. Mental illness sucks. Give us a break.